friends are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good day, Vail. Good day, Vail. Let's see what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring or fall. You're home in the Rockies as it all. So gear up, get ready to plan your day. The ideas are brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good day, Vail. Good day, Vail.
Hi there, I'm Cece Zach, and I'm the host of Good Day Vail. And on this episode, it is all about having fun, and fun with a bunch of community members. It is about bringing your family someplace that might not even cost you $75 for the entire evening of entertainment. If you haven't guessed it yet, it's about going to the Dobson Ice Arena and seeing the Vail Yeti. And I am so grateful today to have Kyle Forte, who is the new owner of the Vail Yeti, as well as Bill Foster, who's actually a veteran of the team, who's been here since the inception. This is an episode you don't want to miss, because you're not only going to learn about the team, but you're going to learn about hockey, everything there is to know about the passion around hockey. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Good day, Vail. Good day, Vail.
Hi there, I'm Cece Zach, and welcome to this episode of Good Day Vail. And as I had mentioned, I'm thrilled to have the owner and the captain of the Vail Yeti with me today to talk about how hockey gives back to the community in so many different ways. And so before we get into the actual sport of hockey, I'd love to know a little bit about the two of you. And, you know, why is Vail home for the two of you? Kyle.
Well, I think it's like most of us. We find the Vail Valley in creative, different ways. Everybody comes here, a lot of people, it's for skiing or the mountain, where for me it was actually for hockey. And I found Vail about 5 years ago when I was the director for the Vail Mountaineers, the youth program here in town, and left and went to go coach for a while and came back because it's such an addictive place and you kind of can't get away. So for me, Vail's just one of those communities that draws you in, and you kind of find a life here, you find your family within the valley, and you just can't stay away from it.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. And I know, Bill, your story is a little bit different. You've been here for longer because you've actually been here since the inception of the hockey team. So
yeah, so I actually answered an ad in an online forum. I was looking for a grad assistant job to become a hockey coach, and I answered a job forum for the Vail Yeti, and the guy offered me an opportunity to come out here, help coach the team, and also play on the team. So I answered that ad on like a Tuesday, and I moved here on a Thursday.
wow.
And I've been here ever since. I took one summer back. I'm from upstate New York originally. Took one summer back home. Really, it was a great opportunity for me because I grew up skiing with hockey. I played at a pretty high level. I wasn't able to ski for a long time. And I decided that it was something I wanted to reintroduce into my life, and came back. I think I skied like 150 days or something my first year. And then, just fell in love with it, met my wife out here, and we now are here and have a family here and stuff.
So my viewers know that I am from the Northeast. So where in upstate New York are you from?
I grew up outside of Albany, about 25 minutes outside of Albany, New York, right on the Massachusetts border.
Okay. What town?
The name of the town is Stephentown.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever skied Jiminy Peak before.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Jiminy Peak is in Hancock, Mass, which is in Massachusetts. Stephentown is the bordering town in New York.
Oh, that's awesome. It's so great to hear that you're from the Northeast as well. We got that bond going already. So what about hockey? What got the both of you inspired in hockey as a kid? Kyle?
Whoa, I haven't told that story in a long time, but it's actually the movie The Mighty Ducks.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and I watched it. I actually was living in Manila in the Philippines at the time, and there was a gentleman who was from Switzerland who had started a hockey program in the only rink in the Philippines in Manila in a mall. And the rinks,
wild.
yeah,
That is wild.
It's very different than Dobson Ice Arena. It's like this small half rink that's in the basement of the mall, and it was called the Manila Tigers, and that's where I started hockey. But it was all off of that movie and using literally limbs from trees to like whack around, pine cones and stuff.
Such a great story. How old
Yeah.
were you when you first put on skates?
I was late, so I was 7.
Okay.
Where I bet Bill was like 2 years old when he started, like most people.
Yeah, that's my dad. Really loved hockey. He's from Maine. He grew up skiing, but he always loved the sport of hockey. And he just asked me one day. I remember I was super little. He's like, "Oh, do you want to play hockey?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And started in skating lessons. I think I started when I was like right around 3 years old. I did skating lessons for 2 years and then transitioned into hockey. And I've been doing it for 30 years since then, 32 years since then.
So knowing that you started at such a young age, how did you balance skiing and hockey?
Well, early on, it's not as big of a commitment. So, you would just, and from being from New York or from the Northeast, like we did twilight skiing. So we would go in the afternoon, like we did ski club programs and stuff. So we would leave school and go do that. And then, off days of hockey or whatever, and then weekends. And you just fit it in where you can. Kind of similarly to here.
My little unknown secret is that I grew up in Connecticut, and I used to go to Woodbury Ski and Racket and do that twilight skiing, where you couldn't see a dang thing, but all your friends were out there, and all you do is just went down this little hill. But it was a lot of fun, and you learned how to turn.
It was
or
a blast.
Stop.
It was a blast, and it was always interesting, because it's dark out. The first time I actually skied, I think during the daytime, we came on a couple of trips to Steamboat, but was when we came out here. When I came out here, life was like, oh my God, it's daytime.
Yeah, exactly. All right, hockey is your passion, both of you. What is it about the sport that just gets you up in the morning?
I think it's the people, the guys, the locker room. For me, at least, right? That's where I went from playing to coaching and just staying involved in the game as much as I can. It's just one of those things. It's just like Vail Valley. The people that are in the sport are just a different breed and a fun breed of people to be around. And that's where I met Bill. That's where I've met tons of wonderful people in this valley. So
I think what I'm hearing you say is that those that live in the Vail Valley are your locker room buddies, the community.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
that really is. I've only been here for a little over a year and a half full time, and I feel the exact same way. It's when you find the community here, it really is extraordinary, and they're like your family.
For sure.
So now, what about you, Bill?
It's the same thing for me. Pretty much every team I've ever played on, you automatically you'll at least get along with a bunch of guys, a handful of guys. So you've got 5 to 10 built-in friends every time you go on a team. And my friends that I've met here from day one are the friends that I still hang out with in the off season, hang out with outside of the rink and stuff. So you build that community, and the game itself is really fun. It's entertaining. It's fast. It's violent, which I like. So there is that aspect to it. It's unique to most other sports, and that's what I like about hockey.
Okay, you brought up the word violent. I wasn't going to bring this up, but okay, what is the deal with fighting? Help me understand that the tensions get so tough that there's punches thrown.
Yeah, I mean it is unique to our sport. I will say that it's a self-regulating sport because it's so fast and because it's so violent. It's a fight or flight instinct that you have out there, and there's nowhere to go. So eventually things boil over. And it is, most of the time there's a huge respect between the two combatants. Most of the time it's relatively safe, believe it or not, more so than you would be in a street fight where you don't know what's going on. You also
got a ton of equipment.
You've got a ton of equipment on. You've got a helmet on. There's a grappling aspect to it. So it's a way to let somebody know on the opposite team, hey, this is not okay. What you've done is not okay. That's what people don't understand about it is like, oh, we just fight because we can. It's more so a self-regulating kind of aspect to the game that's part of it, and I think will be a part of it for a while.
Well, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that with me, because I just didn't know. All right, so going to the team, what's the history behind the Yeti? And actually, the first question I have is Yeti Coolers a sponsor of the team?
They're not.
They're not.
No, but
Okay.
we'd love that. That would be awesome to have them be part of the team.
Okay, so where did the name come from?
I'll let Bill take that since he's been here from the inception. Yeah.
There was an old owner. He came up with the idea. There used to be a team back in the day called the Vail Mountaineers, that the namesake of our youth hockey program. And it was a very similar team. There's some other teams, Sun Valley and Jackson Hole, both mountain towns, have teams, and the three of those teams played. I think Sun Valley's had a team for 50 some odd years.
Wow.
So there's a long-standing history of mountain towns having hockey teams in this senior age level. And the Mountaineers existed for a long time. The old owner played on the team. And then he decided one day, hey, Vail doesn't have a team. They've got this rink. They've got this great atmosphere. They've got this great captive audience and community of people. He came up with the name and decided to start the team. He's actually from Connecticut, believe it or not.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. I wonder if I know him. I'll have to look it up afterwards. So how old is the team?
We just finished our 9th season, give or take, with COVID.
Okay. And what has been the most wonderful accomplishment that you've seen with this team since you've been working with it, Bill?
I think what the accomplishment is that we get a bunch of people every weekend. Everybody that you meet and talk to about the team, they're saying they're having a great time every time they come in. All the guys that have played on the team, every time they come in the locker room, they say, "Oh, that was such an amazing time. It was a great atmosphere. The guys on the team are awesome." There are other teams out there where it's not as much fun to be in the locker room or be at the rink, for that matter. So I think everybody that comes, whether they're little kids or adults or people that don't know hockey or do know hockey, I think everybody that comes in has a great time.
Oh, that's awesome. That's wonderful. So we're going to take a short station break, and I'm going to ask our viewers to stay tuned to this episode of Good Day Vail about the Vail Yeti. And when we come back, we're going to talk to both Kyle and Bill about the future of the team and the vision. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Good day, Vail. Good day, Vail.
Hi there, and welcome back to this episode of Good Day Vail. My name is Cece Zach, and we're here focusing on our local hometown team, the Vail Yeti. So, Kyle, tell us a little bit about your new role in the organization. And first of all, congratulations on the team. I hear the team is thrilled and the community is thrilled to have you as the new owner. But tell us a little bit about how that came to be.
For sure. Well, and thank you for the kind words. Moving back here in May, I own a youth hockey academy here in town. I actually partnered with VSSA, so we're the hockey cohort, so to speak, to the ski club. So that's really what brought me back here, other than just the people, is having a business still in the valley.
Do you mind me interrupting asking the age group of the youth hockey?
For sure.
VSSA?
So we're 5th grade through like 9th and 10th.
Okay.
And a lot of our athletes train with us, but then they play with the Mountaineers. We do have a couple kids that'll play down in Denver, whether it be in Boulder, Denver, Colorado Springs, and they'll commute back and forth. But we're that training aspect for them, just trying to make them better at the game. Really.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah, so, which has been a lot of fun. I mean, we're going into year 6 next year, and we've grown from 7 athletes to now we have, I think we're going to be at 52 next year.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Wow,
so
that's huge. How many of them do you see playing on your team? In the next 5 years or so?
Well, maybe a little longer than that,
Okay.
but hopefully quite a few of them. I mean, that's kind of the sustainability factor, right? Of taking kids from youth and then allowing them to go flap their wings and play collegiately, and then hopefully come back and join a team that we have locally that's for our community.
Okay. Wow. All right. So you talked about the youth hockey. Tell us about the Yeti.
For sure. So the opportunity presented itself this summer. The old owner wanted to change his situation, not living here. Bill, mentioned that he lived out in Connecticut, which it's tough to own a business from afar. I think we all know that. So knowing a lot of the guys on the team from when I was the director here before made it a pretty easy transition for me to want to be deeper involved. And selfishly for me, it gives me a deeper involvement at the rink and in the hockey community. So it was kind of a no-brainer when I started walking down the path of what that would mean for my life selfishly, but also believing in what I think the team can do for our community was the huge thing that kind of pushed me over the edge to want to do it.
All right, so 5 or 10 years ago, though, did you ever think you'd be an owner of a hockey team?
Absolutely not.
That's great.
And definitely not in Vail, Colorado. If you would have told me that I'd be sitting on this couch with you and Bill today, 10 years ago, I probably would have laughed at you, for sure.
Well, I'm not laughing. I'm very excited. And I think it's really important for our viewers to understand your vision for the team and the community involvement. You talked about 52 kids that you're influencing today. Tell us a little bit more about how you want to see hockey be part of the community.
Well, I think hockey's kind of a winter sport, right? Just mountain town-esque. And we're the only sports team in town, or semi-professional sports team.
Yeah.
So from an entertainment standpoint and just a platform standpoint, we have a pretty unique opportunity, I think, to uplift whether it be local businesses or local nonprofits, or give kids something to look forward to playing a sport down the road. So for us, it's really leveraging our platform and trying to utilize that to uplift others in the community.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What a great way of putting that, uplifting others in the community. Now, you talked about winter, okay? Bill, help us understand the off season. As you and I were talking and preparing for this interview, you said there's a handful of guys that have been with you since the inception of this team. So we're talking 8 years. What do you all do during the off season?
Everybody does a little bit of everything. We have, like you said, we probably have 5 guys or so that have been around since day one. And then there's been a few guys that have been around since, have been around 8 or 9 years. But everybody does a little bit different of things. I would say a lot of guys work in the trades, so they have regular jobs. We have regular jobs during the season. Some people project management. I personally work for Eagle River Water and Sanitation District. I'm an electrician. So during the season, everybody works all week. Some guys ski instruct, some guys work at ski shops. During the off season, we still play just at Dobson at the men's league and stuff, but everybody kind of hangs out, has other hobbies and that kind of stuff. So nothing too crazy. We just live normal lives. This is just something fun we get to do on the weekends.
Oh, that's awesome. Entertaining the community and pulling them together. Which, Kyle, as I recall, you had mentioned that you took ownership of the team 6 weeks before the season started. So tell us how you were able to kick into gear and get everything up and off the ground.
Yeah, it's been a fun sprint. And Bill knows he's kind of my work wife, work husband, whichever one.
Oh, I love that.
So I'm sure.
So is there a bromance going?
Yeah.
The work bromance.
Well, I'm sure his wife's tired of me calling at all hours of the day. So, but no, it's been a fun sprint. And for us, kind of piecing everything together, it was really good for me having Bill from the start, because he was the one who kind of led the charge for the group for 8 years. So having that knowledge and experience of what the season should look like, what the guys are used to, what the community's used to, helped us make decisions to kind of make sure that we were putting our best foot forward to go through the year.
Bill, that is such an awesome thing to hear, because I know with transitions, I come from the corporate world, it's tough. Transitions are tough. There's a lot of change, there's a lot of uncertainty, and so I just commend you for being a local community leader and helping Kyle through that transition, because, and especially a small community, it's not easy, I'm sure.
It definitely wasn't easy, and we had some bumps and bruises, and there's always going to be a learning curve, But ultimately, I thought that with him taking ownership, the team just had more longevity. This is something that I've cared about, obviously, for a long time, and I wanted to see continue into the future. And I wanted to be able to take my kids in 5 years from now when I'm not playing anymore.
Because you're coaching.
Yeah, or for whatever reason, and be able to take them to a game and say, hey, I had a hand in this, and also, it still would be around. And nothing against the old owner, but I just didn't see that happening under that regime. And so, being able to have somebody who cares about it, who's local, who will continue to take care of it for years to come, I think that was a super important factor for me. And just the people on the team as well, well, none of us are getting any, especially the people that started from originally, none of us are getting any younger. So we want to be able to put a good product out there for everybody and make sure that the games are competitive and that kind of stuff too. So
you mentioned taking your kids. So Kyle, this question's for you about really what your mission is for the future, because I know you really want the community to find a absolutely fun, affordable, and entertaining way to bring their family to an event. So tell us a little bit about, your thoughts around bringing the family to see a hockey game.
Yeah, we're, simply put, we're an amenity. And we're, like I said before, we're the only sports team in town, but we're also extremely affordable. So tickets are online for $10 and $15 at the door, but kids are free. So for me and for us, and I think, Bill being a guy who lives here, has a family, it's tough to go out and find entertainment for your family that's affordable in the Valley. And
it's tough for a single woman to find entertainment.
Right.
I should probably take that back, but keep going.
Yeah. Well, but so for $20, you can bring your family of four out to a hockey game, and what decisions you make at the concession stand, that's on you. But it's pretty affordable, and it's fun. It's electric. It's in a great valley, or a great place in the valley, right in town. So we're pretty fortunate to have what we have.
And I know you've been very lucky in the short time that you've been an owner to also establish partnerships. So tell our viewers about, who's been most supportive of you during your tenure as the owner.
Well, Town of Vail's kind of our big dog, if you will. They have so much support for us, whether it be helping us advertise out in the community, helping us put on the game event in general, using that venue that's part of their town. So they've been pretty integral for us to make this season happen. And then other big ones for us is like the Stedman Clinic, Howard Head, our medical providers that keep these guys safe and on the ice. Vail Brewing Company, local people helping local people. So, and that's just to name a few. I mean, we grew a ton this year, which was awesome. And I think that goes back to having local people run the organization, and people like local.
So as we look to the future of the organization, are there any messages that you'd like our viewers to know about the team going forward, and the value that it could bring to our community?
Go ahead, Bill. I'll throw you under the bus. I'll let you lead with it.
No, like you said, I think it really is. I mean, we've priced out going to Avalanche games, and I've taken my kids to a few Avalanche games, but you're looking, for 4 people, you're looking at almost $500 for a single night to go out. And even to go to nothing against the bowling alley, but even to go to the bowling alley to bowl for an hour in Eagle is almost $100. So to be able to go somewhere and get the entertainment that you do, because it really is entertaining, whether we're not the highest level athlete, but we're no slouch. So the games are always usually pretty close. They're usually pretty high scoring. A lot of times there's hits. Sometimes, very occasionally, there's some fights and stuff. So it is a really entertaining product for kind of next to nothing. I mean, you can't leave your house and you can't go to Qdoba and get, and spend $10 and be entertained, for that matter. So I think you're really providing something good to the community in a positive way. So we want to just grow on that and make sure that all the games are packed, and make sure that we do have good community sponsors, because I think we did a really good job this year of, making sure we had somebody that we're giving back to every weekend. I think just grow it in any way that we can.
Well, you two had me at hello, and I have not grown up being a hockey fan, albeit though I am from the Northeast. So, but you will see me this coming season, and I am just so humbled to have met the two of you. And thank you for all the contributions you're making to the Vail Valley and everyone involved. So, thank you to the viewers for watching this episode of Good Day Vail with Kyle and Bill from the Vail Yeti. And please, 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 think about this family fun entertainment, or even if you're single, just go, because you're going to find another family at the rink. So we'll see you next year at the Vail Yeti, and this is Good Day Vail. Take care.
On your way